After years of public's breakdowns, court battles, and family drama, Britney Spears' sons have finally stepped out of the chaos. Once the center of a custody war and constant media scrutiny, Sean Preston and Jayden James are now carving out their own lives far from Hollywood's spotlight. As their mother continues to rebuild her freedom, her boys have grown into young men with their own dreams and identities. In 2025, the world is finally seeing what life looks like for Britney's sons after the storm. Sean Preston Federline. When Britney Spears and Kevin Federline tied the knot in September 2004, the world was stunned. The pop princess, who had spent years under the relentless glare of fame, a former Disney sweetheart turned global superstar, had found herself swept up in a whirlwind romance that seemed to move faster than even her own meteoric rise to stardom. Their relationship was documented in the now infamous reality series, Britney and Kevin. Chaotic, a raw and sometimes messy glimpse into their lives that revealed just how much they were driven by passion, spontaneity, and an almost reckless love. Fans saw a different side of Britney. The young woman behind the pop image, carefree, in love, and desperate to find normalcy amid the chaos of celebrity life. The wedding itself, held in Studio City, California, wasn't the grand, glittering Hollywood affair many expected. Instead, it was intimate, spontaneous, and deeply personal. Only a few close friends and family were present, with the couple's official ceremony and paperwork completed later. For Britney, who was just 22, the marriage symbolized a new chapter, one where she longed to step away from the stage lights and focus on something she had always dreamed of, being a wife and mother. In October 2004, only a month after her wedding, Britney made a surprising announcement that left her fans divided. She revealed through her official website that she would be taking a break from her music career to focus on building a family with Kevin. After years of touring, performing, and being chased by paparazzi, she wanted to experience something entirely different: domestic life. "I've had an amazing journey," she wrote at the time, "but right now I just want to enjoy being a newlywed and think about starting a family." It was a decision that reflected her deep yearning for normalcy and motherhood, something she had often spoken about in interviews. Having achieved nearly everything possible in her professional life, Britney's priorities shifted dramatically. She wanted to live quietly for a while, away from the flashing cameras and constant scrutiny, and experience love and motherhood in its purest form. On September 14, 2005, Britney and Kevin's first child, Sean Preston Federline, was born at the Santa Monica UCLA Medical Center. It was one of the most anticipated celebrity births of the decade. The media frenzy surrounding Britney had reached unprecedented levels, and paparazzi camped outside the hospital for days, desperate for the first photo of the pop icon's baby boy. Britney herself broke the news through her official website with heartfelt simplicity and joy. "We are ecstatic to announce the birth of our son," she wrote. "Everyone is happy, healthy, and doing wonderful. Thank you for all your love and well wishes." The message radiated warmth and genuine happiness, the tone of a young mother finally living the dream she had longed for. For a brief moment, it seemed like Britney Spears had it all: a family, a husband, and the joy of motherhood. As Sean Preston grew, glimpses of his personality began to emerge, often described affectionately by both his parents. In a 2008 interview with People magazine, Kevin Federline painted a tender portrait of his eldest son. He described Sean as sensitive, adding that his feelings could easily be hurt. "He's the one that is always under my wing," Kevin explained. "He doesn't want to go anywhere without Daddy." Sean's gentle and observant nature stood out even at a young age. Kevin mentioned that his son had a strong sense of self, even when it came to something as simple as choosing his clothes. "If his shirt gets dirty, he wants to change it," Kevin said with a laugh. "He'll also tell you whether or not he's going to wear an outfit you pick out for him." "No, I want those shoes, Dada." These small, charming details revealed a little boy with both a sensitive heart and an emerging sense of independence, traits that reflected pieces of both his famous parents. Behind the scenes, life for Britney and Kevin as new parents was a mixture of bliss and growing tension. Britney adored being a mother and often spoke about how it changed her perspective on everything. She spent her days at home with Sean, reveling in simple joys like rocking him to sleep and singing lullabies. For a woman whose life had been governed by rehearsals and recording schedules, motherhood offered her a peace she hadn't known before. However, fame never truly loosened its grip on her. Paparazzi followed her every move, from grocery runs to family outings, capturing every detail of her transition into motherhood. The constant intrusion soon began to take its toll, and cracks started to appear in the once passionate Spears-Federline marriage. Kevin, a former backup dancer, was pursuing his own ambitions in music and reality television, while Britney struggled to balance her desire for a quiet home life with the pressures of her celebrity existence. Britney's every move as a mother became tabloid fodder. From being criticized for driving with baby Sean on her lap to being chased by photographers during what should have been peaceful outings, her early experiences of motherhood were anything but private. The young star, who had wanted nothing more than to create a stable and loving environment for her child, found herself under intense and often unfair scrutiny. Yet despite the media storm, Britney remained fiercely devoted to Sean Preston. Friends close to her have recalled that she was deeply maternal, affectionate, and attentive, constantly doting on her little boy. Her love for Sean was evident in every interview, every photograph, and every public appearance where she spoke of him with pride and tenderness. While their marriage would eventually unravel, Kevin Federline's bond with Sean Preston endured. In the same People interview, he spoke about fatherhood with genuine affection and maturity. "Having kids changes everything," he said. "It gives you a sense of responsibility you never knew you could have." He often described his time with Sean and his younger brother, Jayden James, as grounding and joyful, a stark contrast to the chaos of fame that had once surrounded his life with Britney. In the years following their parents' highly publicized separation, Britney Spears' sons, Sean Preston and Jayden James Federline, largely stayed out of the spotlight. Despite growing up as the children of one of the world's most photographed women, Britney and Kevin Federline made a conscious effort to give them a semblance of normalcy. However, every now and then the two boys would make rare appearances alongside their famous mother, reminding fans just how much her world revolved around them. One of the few moments the public got to see the family together was during the July 2013 Los Angeles premiere of Smurfs 2. For the first and only time, Preston and Jayden joined Britney on the red carpet, making for an unforgettable family appearance. The pop icon, radiant in a blue Hervé Léger dress that matched the film's color theme, proudly held her son's hands as photographers snapped away. Preston and Jayden, then just 8 and 7 years old, looked both shy and thrilled to be part of their mom's glamorous world for a night. After the event, Britney took to social media to share a heartfelt message about the experience. "Aw, #Smurfs 2 was super cute. The boys loved it," she posted on X, formerly Twitter, along with a flurry of blue heart emojis. It was a simple, genuine glimpse into her life as a mom, not the global superstar on stage, but a mother enjoying a movie night with her children. Fans adored the rare moment, seeing the softer, more playful side of the woman who had dominated the pop charts for over a decade. The Smurfs 2 premiere wasn't the only time Britney brought her boys into her public world. Earlier that same year, in April 2013, she and her sons were spotted on the field at Dodger Stadium, an experience that thrilled both the boys and their baseball-loving mom. Dressed casually and flashing her signature megawatt smile, Britney looked every bit the proud parent as Sean Preston and Jayden ran around the field, laughing and soaking up the atmosphere. The day was full of joy. A snapshot of Britney's life away from the glitz, simply being mom to her 2 little boys. A few months later, in February 2014, Britney created another unforgettable memory for her sons when she took them to meet the Harlem Globetrotters. Photos from the event captured the boys' excitement as they posed with the legendary basketball entertainers. The Globetrotters even put on a few tricks for them, leaving Preston and Jayden wide-eyed with delight. Britney looked radiant watching her sons' reactions. Her joy clearly came from seeing them happy and amazed. As the years went by, fans got glimpses of Britney's family life through her candid posts on social media. She often referred to herself as a typical proud skate mom, proudly documenting her son's love for skateboarding. Preston and Jayden had both developed a passion for the sport, spending hours practicing flips, ollies, and tricks at local skate parks. Britney's pride was obvious. She cheered them on like any mom would, gushing over their progress and sharing short clips or photos that showed how fearless and talented they were becoming. Britney's posts showed that beneath the pop icon exterior, she was like any parent, excited, protective, and endlessly proud. The image of her sitting on the sidelines, watching her boys skate with a grin on her face, contrasted beautifully with her stage persona. "They make me laugh so hard," she once wrote in a post, describing their goofy antics during one of their skate sessions. "I'm such a proud skate mom." Her boys didn't just inherit her fun-loving nature. They also shared her silly, carefree side. During her 2018 tour, Britney shared several candid shots of her and the boys during their downtime. In one image, the trio made funny faces for the camera, their bond and joy shining through effortlessly. Another photo, taken during a quiet afternoon in Miami, showed Britney and Sean Preston sharing a tender moment together. The pop star captioned it with warmth, giving fans another peek at how much she cherished every moment with her sons, no matter how hectic her schedule was. The closeness between Sean Preston and Jayden was something Britney frequently highlighted. Born just a year apart, with Preston's birthday on September 14, 2005, and Jayden's on September 12, 2006. The two shared not only a tight brotherly bond, but also a joint birthday week that Britney celebrated with love and humor. Every September, she would post sweet tributes to both boys, often writing with the giddy excitement of a mom who couldn't believe how fast her children were growing up. In 2020, Britney marked their birthdays with a particularly touching post on Instagram, capturing both her humor and her deep affection. Sharing a serene photo of a sky filled with light clouds, she wrote, "My two little men's birthdays are this week. You guys are getting older and so big and are way cooler than me. I love you both to the moon and back, and I hope all of your B-Day wishes come true and more." The post perfectly captured Britney's personality, warm, funny, and overflowing with love. Even though she rarely shared photos of her sons as they grew older, out of respect for their privacy, her words always carried that unmistakable motherly pride. Fans could feel the emotion behind her message, the bittersweet mix of joy and nostalgia that every parent feels as their children begin to grow up and carve out their own identities. Through the years, Britney's interactions with Sean Preston and Jayden have remained a grounding force in her life. No matter how chaotic things became in the public eye, from her conservatorship struggles to her eventual freedom, she often expressed that being their mother was her greatest joy. In interviews, she called them her everything, and her social media posts reflected a woman who found her truest happiness in her children's laughter, their shared adventures, and their simple moments together. The few public outings the boys made alongside Britney weren't just celebrity appearances. They were reflections of a private, tender relationship that thrived away from the cameras. Whether it was a baseball field, a skate park, or a movie premiere, Britney was always by their side, cheering them on, laughing with them, and capturing their childhoods with pride. Jayden James Federline. When Britney Spears and Kevin Federline welcomed their second son, Jayden James Federline, on September 12, 2006, the world's fascination with the pop star's young family reached new heights. Born at 1:11 a.m. at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, Jayden's arrival came just under a year after his older brother, Sean Preston, turning Britney into a proud mother of 2 boys under the age of 2. The birth was private and peaceful compared to the media frenzy that had surrounded her first pregnancy. Yet despite the joy of welcoming another child, there was an undeniable tension lurking beneath the surface of her marriage. At the time, Britney was only 24 years old, a global superstar juggling fame, motherhood, and a marriage that had begun to show serious cracks. Just a few months earlier, she had publicly expressed her excitement about being a mom again, sharing in interviews that she wanted to raise her children in a loving, family-centered environment. But the realities of constant public scrutiny, the pressures of celebrity and conflicting lifestyles between her and Kevin were already straining their relationship. Jayden's birth should have marked a new chapter of happiness, but instead, it came during a period of emotional exhaustion and uncertainty. Only 2 months later, in November 2006, Britney shocked fans by filing for divorce from Federline after 3 years of marriage. She cited irreconcilable differences, and the split quickly became one of the most talked-about celebrity breakups of the decade. The world watched as the young pop star's personal life began to unravel under the glare of the paparazzi. Every outing, every expression, every rumor about her parenting was magnified, feeding the tabloids' obsession. Britney, overwhelmed by the invasive media attention and the strain of balancing single motherhood with her career, found herself caught in one of the most challenging chapters of her life. In contrast, Kevin Federline, who had been thrust from backup dancer to full-fledged celebrity by his marriage to Britney, found himself navigating the unfamiliar role of being a single father in the spotlight. In December 2008, a year and a half after their divorce was finalized, Kevin opened up to People magazine about his relationship with Britney and how they were co-parenting their sons. His words reflected both the struggles and the deep care he had for his children. The first couple of years of their life, they were all over the place, Federline admitted. He was referring to the chaos that surrounded the boys' earliest years, the photographers outside their home, the court hearings, and the constant upheaval that came with their parents' fame. He wanted something different for Sean and Jayden, a life that felt as normal as possible, despite who their parents were. "My main thing for my kids," he explained, "is that they get to live life the way, or as close to the way, that most people do. It's going to be hard not to spoil them, but I don't want to." His words painted a picture of a father determined to protect his sons from the distortions of celebrity life. Kevin was acutely aware that their childhood could easily become consumed by wealth and attention, and he wanted to shield them from that. By 2008, Kevin had primary custody of both Sean and Jayden, a decision that stemmed from a long and emotional custody battle. In the interview, he explained his reasons for taking on that responsibility, emphasizing that it wasn't about keeping Britney away from their children, but ensuring that they had stability. "A reason why we ended up going through the custody battle," he said, "is because I want my kids to have a mom and love her. I don't want to do this by myself." Those words reflected a deep compassion and maturity that surprised many who had once dismissed him as just Britney's ex. He wasn't trying to shut her out. He was trying to build an environment where their sons could thrive, even while Britney faced personal struggles and the harsh glare of the media. Kevin knew that both boys needed their mother's love, even if her life was in turmoil. Jayden was too young to understand the storm surrounding his parents at the time, but his early years were shaped by both affection and instability. Friends close to Britney recalled that she was an extremely loving, hands-on mother whenever she had time with her sons. Even amid her personal battles, she showered them with affection, reading them bedtime stories, dancing with them around the living room, and capturing sweet moments on camera. For Britney, her children were her grounding force. Even as she faced public scrutiny, legal battles, and emotional distress, her love for Sean and Jayden never wavered. In interviews and social media posts years later, she often described them as her greatest joy, her reason for pushing forward. Kevin's role during this time was largely one of consistency and protection, while Britney's world remained chaotic. He worked to establish routine and normalcy for their sons. He enrolled them in school, set boundaries around media exposure, and tried to provide a home environment that was stable and structured. As Jayden entered his teenage years, that spark began to shine brighter. Those closest to the family noted his natural musicality, an instinctive understanding of rhythm, melody, and harmony that seemed to come effortlessly. Britney herself once celebrated this, calling both of her sons geniuses in a since-deleted March 2022 Instagram post. Though short and casual, the caption revealed how deeply she admired their intelligence and creativity. "Both of my boys are geniuses," she wrote at the time, hinting at their shared interest in music and the arts. For Britney, whose own childhood was defined by stage lights, microphones, and early fame, seeing her sons grow with their own sense of artistry was profoundly meaningful, perhaps even healing. Jayden, in particular, appeared to have inherited his mother's musical ear. Reports and small glimpses shared on social media suggested he played instruments and had a strong sense of composition. He wasn't pursuing the spotlight in the same way his mom once had, but his talent was undeniable. To Britney, this was evidence of the creative soul she had passed on, a bond expressed through music rather than words. But their journey as mother and son was not always simple. By 2023, Jayden and his older brother Sean Preston had moved with their father Kevin Federline to Hawaii, where Federline's wife had family ties. It was a decision made partly to give the boys privacy and a calmer environment as they grew older. While Britney supported the move publicly, it created physical and emotional distance. Living nearly 2,500 miles apart, the singer often expressed sadness about how infrequently she saw her sons. The years apart took a toll, not just on her, but on the maternal connection that had once been her grounding force amid the chaos of fame. That's why what happened in late 2024 was so significant. In November of that year, after living in Hawaii for a year, Jayden reunited with his mother in Los Angeles. It marked their first extended visit together in 2 years, a long-awaited homecoming that carried deep emotional weight for both. According to people close to the singer, the reunion was warm, loving, and emotional. Britney, who had often shared her heartache about missing her sons, seemed renewed. Friends said she was glowing again, and for good reason. Jayden's presence filled a void that nothing else could. Just a month later, their bond was on display during the Christmas holidays. On December 25, 2024, Britney shared a touching video on Instagram showing herself and Jayden together again. The clip captured them smiling side by side, posing in front of festive decorations, their expressions full of warmth and familiarity. For fans who had followed her struggles for years, the footage was a moment of quiet triumph, a glimpse of Britney Spears not as a global icon, but simply as a mother overjoyed to be with her son. The caption accompanying the video was pure, unfiltered Britney, emotional, exuberant, and overflowing with gratitude. "Best Christmas of my life," she wrote. "I haven't seen my boys in 2 years. Tears of joy and literally in shock, everyday cuckoo crazy, so in love and blessed. I'm speechless, thank you, Jesus." Her words conveyed more than happiness. They revealed awe, the disbelief of a mother who, after so many turbulent years, was finally holding her child again. That Christmas reunion became one of Britney's most heartfelt public moments in recent memory. Fans who had long rooted for her to find peace flooded her comments with messages of support. Many pointed out how radiant she looked, how genuine her smile seemed, and how much Jayden resembled her. For a woman whose relationship with her sons had often been under the harsh glare of public scrutiny, it was a rare instance of unguarded joy, the kind that comes only from family. For Jayden, too, the reunion appeared to mark a turning point. He was no longer the small boy seen in photos from Britney's early 2000s prime. He was now a young man of 18, thoughtful, private, and musically gifted. The decision to spend time with his mother again, after years of distance and emotional complexity, spoke to maturity and perhaps a growing desire to reconnect with his roots. Observers noted how calm and happy he looked beside her, as if the space and time apart had given both of them perspective. Britney later shared how much Jayden's presence moved her. In private conversations and later in social media posts, she described crying tears of joy every day since his return. "I'm so proud of my boys," she said in one of her updates. "They've grown into kind, talented men. I can't believe how much time has passed." Her tone reflected a mix of pride, nostalgia, and gratitude, the emotions of a mother who had lost time but gained hope. The reunion also reignited public curiosity about whether Jayden might pursue music more seriously. His natural affinity for the piano and other instruments, combined with Britney's encouragement, seemed to hint at a creative future. Still, those close to the family said he remained grounded and focused on personal growth rather than fame. "He loves music, but he's doing it his own way," one insider shared. "He's not chasing celebrity. He just enjoys playing." For Britney, that might be the best possible outcome. After all she endured, the conservatorship, public breakdowns, and years of separation, seeing her son healthy, happy, and creative represents the kind of success that no chart position or award could ever equal. The Christmas of 2024 symbolized not just a family reunion, but a deeper sense of closure and renewal. As 2025 began, Britney's fans noticed a lighter energy in her posts. She often shared inspirational quotes about love, forgiveness, and family. Many speculated that the visit from Jayden had helped heal a part of her heart that fame had long bruised. And for Jayden himself, the quiet strength he displayed through years of distance spoke volumes about his character, a young man who had inherited his mother's artistry, but also her resilience. What do you think about Britney Spears' children? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye!